Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to our webinar. Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Thank you so much, Keenan. All right. It's been an exciting couple of webinar sessions that you guys have had. And I just want to build on some of what was discussed in the past couple of weeks. Firstly, the session with Huda, the DB analyst from Take a Lot, and also the discussion you guys had with Talha last week around using AI like ChatGPT to help you in your coding. Great stuff. So as you can see, that part of what we do at IT Varsity is not just to teach you code, but also to help you to become fully fledged developers and to build up your networks. Using our networks, we help you to build up your networks. But as I always say to my students, we need your help. We need you to help us to help you. And we can't do everything for you, right? There are institutes that promise jobs and say we will definitely organize you a job, but that's not real jobs. That probably put you into a free job shadowing position or internship position. We're not out for that. We want you guys to get into jobs, but we don't guarantee any of that. What we do guarantee is that we will give you all the tools, skills, and access to the networks that we have so that you can get a job. And there's three ways you can help us out. One, first and foremost, is to exert yourself into your studies and become really good at what you do, really understand the concepts, because, and I'll come to that a little later. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you make yourself known on social media. Look, I can't emphasize this enough, especially on LinkedIn. Make yourself known on LinkedIn. I mean, if you go on LinkedIn and you search for me, you'll see every single day I post at least twice. And that is my strength, right? That's helped me to build up my own networks. So make sure your LinkedIn profile is in top form. And if you want help with that, we will be more than happy to assist with that. But also your other social media. If you prefer TikTok, go with that. If you prefer X/Twitter, go with that. Instagram, go with that. Facebook, whatever works for you, go with that. But make sure you are putting out on social media. Otherwise, you're shooting yourself in the foot. So what do you put out? You put out basically your own progress, right? Today I learned this. Then you learn something else. I just learned this. So just keep putting that out. The other thing you can do is, as junior developers, you don't have to be creators. You can be curators also. What's the meaning of creator versus curator on social media? So creator is where you're creating your own content, like what I said earlier. But curator is where you came across something, you read something interesting, you put it out there into the world. Just share it with others. That's how you will build your own networks. And the third thing is to tap into the networks that we give you access to. So a couple of weeks ago, we had Huda. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to have another very senior software engineer. This guy's been at it for 25 years now, and he's running a very successful company of his own. So incredible stuff. So you're going to be talking to a CEO in the next 2 weeks. Noltando will give you the heads up exactly when it's happening. I'm waiting for him to confirm. He's agreed, but I'm waiting for him to confirm. Now, when we bring these people on board, I need you guys to reach out to them. They give you access to their emails, like Huda did last week. Speak to them, drop them an email, take them as your mentors. This is valuable, extremely valuable access to leads we are giving you. So 3 things again. Number 1, be really good at what you do. Understand your code, understand what you're doing. Secondly, put out on social media. Thirdly, reach out to the mentors we are showing you, but don't stop there. Don't stop there. Go beyond. Go on LinkedIn, find your own mentors, find people who are software developers. Do a search on LinkedIn for software developer and see how many people come up, and just reach out to them. Hey, I'm a I'm studying at IT varsity. I'm a junior aspiring developer. Can you please help me? You know, Steve Jobs used to say, and this is my own experience, he said once, I've never asked someone for help ever, and they never helped me in some way or the other. People are ready to help. People are happy to help. People want to give back. Guys working, or a woman is working in a software engineering firm, she's top notch, and she sees this junior reaches out to her studying at IT varsity, and IT varsity is well known. And they see this email, it gives them a warm feeling in their heart. People ask me all the time, I need advice. Some of you join through asking me for advice, but I don't make that a condition. Sometimes I get people from other institutes asking me for advice, and I give them free advice. Some of them turn around and join me. That's a different story. So people are always willing to advise you. So just keep that in mind. Help us to help you. Right. Now, what I want to do is I want to hone in today on artificial intelligence. Now, in the conversation with Huda and in the conversation with Talha last week, we tackled AI. And that's a theme that's going to be a recurring theme in your life as tech professionals, artificial intelligence. So let's go back to what Huda said about AI replacing software developers. I think she gave the best and the most succinct answer. She said those that are outside of the loop are all full of doom and gloom, but those who are inside the loop are not even concerned about it. Who's inside the loop? Meaning IT professionals like Huda, like myself, like the people that you are going to encounter in the next few months who are going to come aboard on this webinar as guests. So AI is not going to replace developers. Don't even bother yourself with that. Don't even rack your brains about that. Because there were lots of times when development as a career was supposed to plateau and then even take a drop from the 1980s and then 1990s and then in the 2000s and then now. And each time it was a new technology emerging. Around about the early 2000s, it was frameworks. Suddenly you got these frameworks that came up. For example, with Java, you had the Spring framework. With Microsoft, with C#, you had the .NET framework. And people said, oh, these frameworks pretty much do everything for you. There's not going to be a job for developers. There's still developers. In the 1980s, when spreadsheets came out and accounting packages, they said, well, accountants, you're going to be out of a job soon. Accountants are still there. And universities are churning them out by the tens of thousands every year. So don't stress that. So AI is not your enemy. Rather, like Talha said last week, AI is your friend. That's the key thing to remember. Now, Talha demonstrated, and today is not going to be a long session. I don't want to talk for too long. I just want to cover this one thing, and then we'll open up for questions. I need to finish off by 25 past today. I've got some meetings coming up. So Talha showed you guys how to use ChatGPT in your work. And that might have come as a shock to some of you, or most of you, that all over the world, schools, universities, colleges are banning the use of AI. And here, these guys at IT Varsity are encouraging the use of AI. What is going on here? What's going on is actually very simple. We are not running away from the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation is that ChatGPT and AI tools are here to stay, number one. Number two, they are going to make a serious impact on your jobs as developers, positive impact. And number three, if you don't learn how to use AI while you are studying, you're going to struggle when you get out there. So we are not concerned about plagiarism. We are not concerned that you are going to use ChatGPT to do all the work. We are more concerned about the real world. Remember, we are preparing you for the real world. We are not preparing you for exams here. There are no exams, right? We are preparing you for the real world. And in the real world, as a developer, you will use whatever tools are available at your disposal to do your job in the best way you can, in the most quickest and efficient way that you can. And if that tool happens to be AI like ChatGPT, then use it. But you must know how to use it. And don't delude yourself into thinking that I will skip through all the lessons and I'll get ChatGPT to write all my code for me. You're not going to succeed like that. I mean, you can do that, but then why are you here? You're paying good money. Okay, some of you are on bursaries. You're paying good money still to do what? To cheat your way through a course and get one certificate. I mean, okay, if that's what you want, that's fine. But you're all here to become master developers, right? You are, if you know the Star Wars terminology, you are Padawans that are trying to become Jedis. You can't cheat your way through that. You have to go through the motions. You have to become masters at code. And that's what we are trying to do here. Myself, my team, all our mentors. This is what we are trying to do. So I think it's illogical that anybody would want to cheat through the course. But even then, when I call you up, and randomly I will call you up, and later in the year, we'll set up sessions where I will bring up some of your projects, myself or one of my team will bring up some of your projects and ask you questions about it. And if you can't answer those questions about your code, your own code, then I'm going to be disappointed. I'm going to suspect that something fishy is going on. So we are going to do code reviews. I am doing code reviews. I do review your code as it is, but I will interview you about your code as if I am a potential employer. And you don't want to be sitting there and not be able to answer the questions about your own code. So by all means, use ChatGPT. Go for it. Use it to debug. Use it to generate code also. Use it to generate code also, and that's fine. But understand what code you are generating and be able to use that code properly in the systems that you are building. Right. One last thing. So yeah, go all out with AI. Now the other thing I want to do is I want to give you some resources. I want to share with you some resources. Give me just a second. I just want to copy it from my phone. In the meantime, if you have any questions, happy to answer them. You guys got any questions? Sorry, I thought I had copied this thing and pasted it. Now I have to go and find it again. What I'm sharing with you is some fantastic courses on AI that that you guys might want to do in your part-time. Some beginner and intermediate AI courses. I strongly recommend you start with the beginner courses. These are all free courses, not produced by us. I'm putting them into the comments. What is going on? Oh, no. Technology. You're embarrassing me in front of my students. Give me just a second. I'll ask Noltando to share these on Slack also. So don't stress that, but I will put it into the chat. Okay, so Noltando will share this. Let's see if I can get it. Ah, there's it finally. Right. Okay, cool. So I'd like you guys to have a look at these courses. There's some beautiful courses. I didn't put anything too advanced. I mean, they are advanced courses. I did one recently with Harvard or MIT was I can't remember. It was actually quite an interesting course, but it's very heavy in mathematics. So if you guys are not too hot about maths, don't bother to do that one. Okay, let's get into it. I see there are some questions already. Let's go. So Keenan says, good day, sir. While working on the jigsaw puzzle, I noticed a PR in the JavaScript API, and it was this part here. What PR are you referring to, Keenan? Can you clarify that? Okay, Jade's question. Hello, sir. I have some questions around our projects and portfolio. Does it reflect on our portfolio if there is a project quiz that was sent back, failed with suggestions or fixes? No, it does not reflect that. Your portfolios only show the end result. Another one, do you ever mark projects yourself or get given projects that are outstanding to look at? To be perfectly honest, I don't find the time to grade projects myself, but yes, I request my team to send me projects that are exceptional so I can have a look at them. I miss those days. I miss those days when I used to do marking myself, but now I just don't find the time to do it. Uh, how can we get feedback on how better to improve our work or suggestions on how we could have done something better to improve our code? Reach out to the support team, and they will give you that advice, right? If they don't, be persistent. These guys are super busy, right? So you have to be a bit persistent with them. If you either through email or through Slack, right? But having said that, if you want some advice that's more that requires a more detailed explanation, you can suggest to on Slack to my team to have a webinar episode about it, because see, these webinar episodes are partly what we want to teach you, but also partly in answer to some of your questions. So I think, Jade, if you could expand on this question here and drop me an email at bilal@itvarsity.org and give me more details. And I promise you we'll run a webinar, and I'll prepare something myself, and we'll run a webinar just focus on this last question of yours. How can we get feedback on, or basically, how can we improve on our work, right? If you want to have a conversation with me in the webinar, like maybe demo some of your projects, any one of you, right? And you want to get some direct feedback from me, go for it. Okay. So Keenan says, and I think if some students might run into problems if they try doing what I did. Okay, Keenan, I'm not really following. Can we take this into email? Drop me an email, and I will answer your questions there. I need to. I can't even read the code properly here because it's all kind of mixed up. More questions. Oh, a problem. Okay, I'll have a look at it. To be honest, that code wasn't written by me. It was from a library that a free JavaScript library that we used. So, but I'll have a look at it. Drop me an email with that code snippet, and I'll run it in VS Code and have a look at it. So Jade's again, one last thing, what should be the turnaround time for projects to be marked in order to gain access to the next module? Jade, realistically, we're looking at about 24 hours, right? We're trying to reduce that time, but right now, I know what you're saying. You find it a bit frustrating. We are expanding our grading team, right? So please bear with us. I mean, grading your projects, you can imagine is not easy, and it's very time consuming because we are extremely thorough about how we go about it. It's not just like, marking someone's assignment. It's about going through your code. We actually do code reviews. We first run your project to see if it works. Then we get into your code, we review your code, we look at it thoroughly, and all that takes time. Now imagine that times, I don't know how many hundred students, and each student submitting assignments constantly. Please bear with us. We are expanding the team. I mean, we did have a quite a busy enrollment period this year, and there are literally hundreds of you who have joined us. So bear with us. What I suggest is, here's a suggestion. While you're waiting for the next for your modules to unlock, do some outside reading, do some outside tutorials on the topics that you've done, so you get a different perspective. Remember, we are giving you a perspective on the technology. Go out and get some other perspectives. Go on to YouTube, or maybe do some of these AI courses. Okay. Steven says good morning. Good morning, Steven. Steven says, are there any other resources besides W3 School? Yep, YouTube. Go on YouTube. There's tons and tons. Do a search on YouTube and you'll be overwhelmed with the sheer volume of content out there. So some of my favorite channels, Programming with Mosh. I like his way of teaching. Not as good as mine, but no, he's good. Free Code Camp. They are quite decent. Then Amigos Code, but you'll find these guys yourself. And Traversy Media. I like these guys. I like how they see. There's two types of tutorials you're going to find on YouTube, right? And you really have to be experienced to find this nuance between the types of tutorials. So one type of tutorial is where the guy is really trying to teach you something. And the other one is where the guy is not trying to teach you, but he's trying to show his own skill. There's nothing wrong with that. So he's running a tutorial on, say, Java API development, but the whole objective is to expand his own horizons by showing that he has these skills. Now, that second type you can learn from, but it might confuse you because the guys glaze over a lot of concepts. They don't go kind of down to earth like how we do it. I mean, we take you guys from this ground zero and we build you up from there. And I suspect at any stage that there's a concept you might not understand, then we go deep into explaining that concept. Now, with some of these tutorials, many of them, they just glaze over that. Mostly, our friends from India, you hear the guys speaking with a strong Indian accent. Mostly these guys are very top-notch, and so they might confuse you. You could do those at some stage later on as you become more expert, but as beginners, these names that I recommended to you, these guys that I recommended to you, let me type them out. So Amigos Code, search them on YouTube. Free Code Camp, Programming with Mosh, and Traversy Media. I like these guys' way of teaching. I really enjoy it. So share this on WhatsApp or Slack, and feel free to go and look at the tutorials. Amos says, I was also doing responsive design on Free Code Camp, very useful and fruitful. They teach you step by step with projects in between. Correct. Really good stuff, Amos. I see your Burger Time project was excellent. I see that you are doing some side reading. Really good stuff. Okay, we got a minute left. Let's try and get one more question. Where's Azra today? Is Azra around? Okay, yeah, Azra is here. All my usual, the usual suspects are here. Good stuff, good stuff. but the turnout is a bit low today. Maybe some of you are celebrating Eid. I don't know, because there's, I know in other countries, many people are, well, not South Africa, in other countries, many people are celebrating Eid. So many of your, of our students from other countries are celebrating Eid today. Any questions? No questions? Okay, that's great. Remember, you can always ask your questions on Slack. If you, I mean, if you guys want to share information with each other, the WhatsApp group is great, but if you want us to get involved, Slack is there. So ask away. We are here for you. We are here to make a success out of you and your careers. So, don't hesitate. Okay, one last question from Jade. Should we learn Bootstrap? Yes, you will. You should, and you will. I think in module 8, you get into Bootstrap. So we do teach you Bootstrap here. It's very important. But if you want to jump the guns, that's fine also. We will get into JavaScript. Even those of you who are doing full stack with Java and Python, we do teach you a bit of JavaScript. So Bootstrap, JavaScript coming up, and then you can do your specializations afterwards. Okay, guys, with those few words, I will conclude. Thanks for being here. I hope this was a useful session for you, and I will catch up with you. No, I won't catch up with you next week, because next week Naltando is running the session. So if you guys have any questions for her, anything in particular you want her to cover, ask away on Slack, so we can better serve you guys and serve your needs. Thanks a lot, guys. Enjoy the rest of your days, and happy learning. Bye-bye.